Well, we're back, folks, and Dwayne is on our Better Living segment of the program is going to talk about a new restaurant
that we tried. It's the Station One, I think it's called, or the station. It's in the old firehouse in Foxborough.
Oh, I know
Right on the
Sure,
on the square,
there.
right on the square. They did a beautiful job with it. It's really nice inside, and the food was superb.
Really?
But
bring
this,
the wallet.
No, the prices are reasonable. They're very busy, extremely busy. They got a big sign out front, but do not park in
All right.
the
Yep.
neighbor's parking lot because they were filling up everybody else's thing, and they want you to park on the square or on the street someplace. But it needs sound deadening. This is us older folks. It is so loud in there because they left the cement floor, and it's a high ceiling, and it's probably a steel ceiling.
Yep.
And everything echoes.
Oh, beautiful.
And you fill that place up on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Everybody that goes in there you have to talk real loud so the next person can hear you. Well, then they have to talk louder so they can overhear you. And it's just a yelling match in there. And honest to God, the waitress came and you had to say, what? You had to yell, literally yell, for her to hear what it is. Now, I'm sure they're aware of that. And all it would take was some
Just baffles. Yeah.
Fresh Catch put them in. They had down in Mansfield, they had a sound problem in there. So they lowered some baffles and stuff from the ceiling. It worked fine.
Sure. Well, you should, if they have a suggestion box there, you ought to explain that to them.
Because it's a great restaurant. It's part of...
What'd you have?
I had fish and chips.
Good?
Delicious. It was a beer battered chip, fish, piece of haddock. But the beer selection is second to none.
Wow.
Draft beer, because it's part of Shoveltown Brewery in Easton. Okay. It's one of their... They don't have... I understand they do not do the brewery right at the fire station. I don't think they got the room.
Right.
But the Easton has the Shoveltown Brewery and the restaurant, and they bring that beer over every day, in the
barrels.
I must have 25 different types.
I had to give up drinking beer.
I know.
25 or 30 years ago, and it was I discovered at the end of my drinking career, Sam Adams on draft.
Yep.
The lager, Boston Lager.
I like that.
I think that's the best beer I've ever had in the U.S. Mm-hmm. They sold out to InBev. Jim Cook sold out, and they changed the recipe to make it cheaper.
InBev always does.
And they did it to Budweiser.
Yeah, did it? Oh, they almost had a revolt. Some of the European beers that he bought.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the connoisseurs that always drank it,
yeah,
all of a sudden got a new one from InBev, and they said, "What is this swill? What happened to this beer?"
Well, they're getting all kinds of blowback about the Boston Lager, and they changed the recipe, and changed how long they brewed it for, and all that.
Yep.
And Jim Cook was outraged about it, and went public with it. That's what they did, just to save money or to make extra money.
Another place that's good, it's not new, but it's Conrad's in the little plaza there by Walgreens in Foxborough.
Oh, okay, yeah. Conrad's is the
part of
mother store is in Norwood.
Norwood, yeah.
Yeah, and then they got one in Walpole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Their food is good, but again, it's a loud place.
Yes, it is. The Walpole one's allowed.
Is it?
Yeah.
And they draw the 21 to 28
at the bar
group. Yeah, a big bar group, and they're loud. Oh my God, are they loud? But see, like I said to Monica, maybe it's just you and I just getting old. that we can't tolerate all the yelling and screaming anymore.
But you know what? The profanity among the young people is getting out of hand. Well, if you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, someone told me once profanity is an attempt by the dull to communicate.
Yep.
And that really, for the most part, fits the bill. But they say, if you don't like it, buzz off. I don't know.
And speaking of restaurants, I need your help. There was a restaurant across the street from the 99 in Foxborough or Mansfield, right there on 140. It's now Jake and Joe's.
Yeah.
What was the name of that restaurant before it was Jake and Joe's? There was about 6 or 7 of them in the country or in the state. We used to go there almost every week. Somebody out there, you got to remember that place. They're good food.
I can tell you who will know the answer to this. That's my son Peter.
Okay.
Peter can remember the damnedest things. He's unbelievable. Oh, don't you remember, Dad?
Yeah.
I was 7 when that
right.
happened. Yeah. I don't even remember you being 7, for heaven's sakes.
It was the restaurant before it was Jake and Joe's. Jake and Joe's is part of the Nacera family.
Yeah, they got a store down in Norwood, too.
Chateau they own up on Route 1, and the one now in Franklin, that's a Chateau. And Jake and Joe's, that's all that same group. They do a good job in the restaurant business. But for the life of me, I could not remember the name of the place across the street. And it used to be just a staple. I mean, it was always busy. Did a big bar
we used
business.
to go there.
Yeah. They drew a lot of people out of the industrial park there.
Yep. Yeah. What was it? Cabot and Forbes Industrial
Yeah,
Park.
Cabot.
Yeah. Well,
But other than that, we haven't had a lot of excitement in our house for the last week or two. We haven't gone any place, haven't done much other than Easter.
yeah, things have been quiet at my house too, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Before we abandon our discussion of what is the problems facing the U.S. military, what will Biden do if Beijing sends military aid to Moscow? In other words, if the Chinese send military aid to the Russians.
Well, let me ask you a question. What can he do? Not a damn thing.
Well, it's the red line. Don't cross the red line.
The second question is the hill you want to die on.
Yeah. And the red line can move from time to time over here and over there. You know what? I think they're probably already doing it.
Of course
and
they do.
we're ignoring it. Because that's the only sane thing we can do. However, we can also say to the Chinese, there'll be some new tariffs on your stuff coming into the country.
That's our hammer.
That's it. And they'll be pretty drastic. So you really should rethink your policy here. But you're right. That's not the hill you want to die on.
That kind of a situation is very, very touchy. We've said before about appearances, and that comes into play there. Now you got to remember that Russia, and I believe this. I don't have a rock hard proof. Nobody does. But I think Russia's military was extremely overrated.
Ooh, boy, big time.
Big time. I think they are hurting right now. From another report that I just read over the weekend, it said that
I read an extensive report about 2 weeks ago that said the same thing. Remember the old saying, and then the wheels fell off.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, the wheels are falling off the Russian
Yeah,
military.
they're having trouble keeping up with the basic supplies, basic munitions.
And also the command structure.
Oh, the command
stinks.
structure is really bad.
I mean, if you lose a squad leader, well,
Yeah, they had no. They would. They weren't trained to anybody else to step in.
Yeah,
and
there's
take
not a
take
tree out
charge.
back
Yeah.
that you go pick a squad leader off and put him in. And they're not ready to promote out of the squad because they've been soldiers for probably about 9 weeks.
That's right.
What a mess they are. And their equipment.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
terrible.
the World War II tanks.
Yeah.
They've been exposed. And they're going to have a long time coming back. If, in fact, they even try to come back.
Yeah. The only time you got to watch them, you don't back them into a corner and they, out of desperation, throw the nuke out there.
Yep. And say there's more to follow if you guys don't straighten
And I
out.
see that in today's paper that they are initiating electronic conscription.
Oh, really?
And
Great.
that's not going to go over too big, they said. They had a thing where, by their constitution, to be conscripted into the military in Russia, a person has to come to your house and hand you the papers, much like getting sued.
Oh, really?
You don't do it mail or anything else. It has to be person to person.
I wonder what the mail is like over there.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like the rest of the country is a mess.
It's a mess, but they have been letting do mail, like certified mail. But now they're going to they want to go electronics. It's like, you open up your emails and say, congratulations, you've been inducted into the Army. And what's been happening is that young men eligible, if they haven't already skipped the country, which they believe hundreds of thousands have, wouldn't stay at home. Because if they wasn't home,
Not there. Can't serve
not
the
there, they
papers.
couldn't serve the paper on them, and they couldn't sign for the thing in the mail. So they wouldn't accept it, so they didn't get drafted. But now they're going to initiate this electronic thing, and already there are critics in Russia, but they're not just, they're careful of what they say.
Yeah.
They say, well, this is just open power. You can do anything you want now because the government can, because there's no stopping them.
There's only... It's a long shot. Only way I can see this whole thing calming down is if Putin has an aneurysm and dies.
Well, this rumor is that he's got cancer.
Yeah.
But again, does he? Doesn't he?
Wishful thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I was reading about the law students out at Stanford that shouted down Judge Kyle Duncan when he was invited out there to speak about the most ignorant, surly lot of morons that you could ever get.
Yeah.
But they ran the tape, and you could clearly hear one woman, you can't say lady, one woman screaming, "I hope your daughter gets raped." Now there's civil discourse at its
Of course.
best, at its highest level.
No, it even makes it worse. It's a legal class. It's law students.
Yeah.
They're the ones that should understand the constitutionality of free speech, and they study the Constitution. They know the amendments. They know the rights, because they're going to be that's going to be their business. For them to engage in it is a different degree of wrongness so to speak, as somebody that's a history major or English major or somebody else, because they're just kids out there. They don't know it.
Well,
These
some
law
of the
students,
street riots when they burned down.
these law students are graduate students that are studying this, that should be experts in this kind of thing.
Yeah. I think we might expect too much of them.
I do too.
Because as our senior senator, Elizabeth Warren, pointed out, their brains don't mature until 26.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's...
If there's a bigger hypocrite
oh
in
my
the world
God.
than Elizabeth, I'm a Cherokee Indian,
Yeah.
Warren, bring it on. But she's actually said that.
Oh, more than one, a lot of occasions.
But yet, she wants the voting age, we think, dropped to 16.
16.
Yeah. Well, their brain is just mushy oatmeal at that point. It hasn't developed, so we want them to vote.
She is like a weather vane. Whichever the way wind blowing, that's what she's pointing to.
Absolutely incredible. And she's the senior senator. Wow.
No, that's determined. That can't be determined by seniority, can it be? Because wasn't Malarkey in there for?
Well, no, Markey was a rep for years.
Oh, that's right. He came over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's her puppy dog.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a leash
lapdog, yeah.
and a little collar on him
Yep.
and leads him around. And,
Woof, woof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, back now.
Yep.
Between the two of them, I'll be willing to bet you they're the two worst senators from any state you could name.
As a
There's
pair-
no pair that's any worse than
Pair
those
them
two.
up, and I think you're right.
Oof. Here's some good news. More women are fishing.
Fishing for what?
Fish.
Oh, okay.
In 2021, there was an 8% increase in outings since 2019. Some 19.4 women bought fishing licenses. How about that, huh? 52.4 million Americans ages 6 and up went fishing in 2021. That was a 4% increase over 2019. So there's some hope for America after all.
Yeah. I know one woman that hasn't had a fishing license in 50 years.
I buy one. I don't go fishing that often.
Oh, yeah,
but I
speaking
buy
of
one.
fishing and stupid ads, this one bugs the hell out of me. And Monica said, "Why does that bother you so?" I said, "Because it's so damn stupid."
Yep.
It's one of those Williamsburg ads, but they run them all the time about Williamsburg, the historic place in Virginia. And one of them, they're walking out on a pier, and then they show a woman with a fishing rod. She's got it's a like a Zebco 33 or one of the Zebco ones. She's got it upside down. Of course, she's turning it backwards, and she's like this. It has to, because they've got a lock or a thing on them. You can't turn them the wrong way, or you mess up your line. So she's got it upside down. Those you have up, she's got it down, and she's turning it this way, wrong way, and there's no line in it. I said,
Not going to catch too many fish that way.
and I said, look at, I said that damn fool doesn't even know how to hold the reel. And there's no line in it. Well, why does it bother you? It's just an ad. I said, because it's stupid. It's just plain stupid.
There was an ad years ago, and I forget what it was for, but it showed a guy at the ocean with a big casting rod,
Oh,
and he had it anchored beside his aluminum folding chair, 20 feet back from where the tide was coming in.
yeah.
So but 20 feet of the cast,
Yeah.
it's going over dry land. It probably went about 30 more feet out there, or 20 feet out there. You're supposed to wade into the water and cast to get it. And I'm going,
See, our wives can't understand why we can't. What's the difference?
I don't know. Well, I got one thing here that I want to. I got two things I really want to explore.
Well, let's jump on it then.
Suffolk DA drops case against noted NBA skills trainer. A fellow, and I'm not going to mention his name, even though it's in the paper, because I don't think it's right. He was charged with allegedly drugging and raping a woman at a Boston hotel. He went through the whole thing, and then at the last minute, they decided not to prosecute.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his job.
Of course. He lost his reputation.
He lost his reputation. I don't know whether he's married, and as Rob and his family are relieved, this nightmare is over. But where does he recoup the damages that were done to him?
I don't think he can. He'll never be able to recoup
You're
that.
right. You're right. But yet, when a woman cries rape, her identity is shielded.
Not only rape. We're talking maybe sexual harassment
Right.
or
Yeah.
or assault.
Yeah.
In which case he may have said, "Nice sweater, honey." Not even saying honey. Hey, you look nice today. That's construed as sexual aggression or
Microaggression.
And
That's quite a term.
his name is smeared all around and all his bio. She does not have any name put in there. And then when it finally comes out it didn't mount to anything, the damage is already done on him.
Right. So does the papers at that point in time
No.
release her name and say, this woman falsely accused
No.
that man?
Never.
No,
Never.
is right. So once a guy, again, in a transaction, if you will, the guy takes it in the shorts.
That's just the name of the game today.
Man alive, unbelievable. But Suffolk DA Kevin Hayden has a very serious picture of himself here in the
course.
paper. Yeah, well, we withdrew the charges. And the guy is left to hang.
Absolutely.
Not fair. Now, we answered this question. Will the U.S. really defend Taiwan? I got to believe the answer is no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. By the way, we got away from something else too, and I wanted to ask you this question. What do you think, who do you think will face off in the fall of 2024 for the Republicans and the Democrats?
Bill, I wish I had an answer for that. It looks like the Republicans, and I can't think of his name, the black guy, Jim, was it Jim? He's been popping up in the news the last couple of days.
Oh, Scott?
Yeah, that's it. He might be one of the contenders.
You're dismissing Trump?
Oh no, he'll be there. I think he will be. And I believe that if he does not get the nomination, he's going to run as an independent.
May not have enough time to do it. You've got to get registered and signatures in all 50 states.
Okay.
They're going to keep him busy fighting these charges.
Yeah.
in hearings and stuff. He's not going to have enough time to campaign, I don't think. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to be, the Democrats are going to do everything they can to hamstring him.
Yeah. Who would the Democrats run?
Well, I don't think it'll be Biden.
They don't want Biden.
No, they
but
don't.
Biden says
they
he's
don't
going.
want Biden, but Obama and Kerry want Biden because they can push his buttons.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Biden is going to wait until the last minute and then say, my dear friends, I am not going to run. And he'll hang his head
Yeah.
and he'll they'll cut away and that'll be the end of
That'll
it.
be the end of it.
Yeah.
The screen will fade to dark.
Yeah. Some of the clips I've seen of him lately, I mean, he's not reinvigorated with the idea of running. You can tell that.
Yeah.
And however,
Watch when he thinks the camera is not on him or the attention on him.
yes,
He walks like an old man.
he does indeed.
He does not strut. He's very shaky. So I don't know if he's going to be able to in 24.
I think his wife will make that decision
Yeah,
for him.
yeah, I think
I really
she
do.
Yeah, you're right. She's
But-
she's a very strong-willed person.
Yeah. We're just part way into 2023. But I think that, and he said he'll make the decision at the end of the year. So it's interesting. If he's going to be a candidate, he kind of shuts would-be candidates out
Yeah,
from here to the end of the year because they wait for the other shoe to drop. But it may be that he's not going to be able to do it. Now, the Republicans, on the other hand, have got Donald Trump. I don't think he can win. I love his policies, but
yeah.
he's
Too much baggage.
Yep, and he is not a fence mender, he's a fence destroyer.
Yeah, and some of his problems with New York are going to look minor when some of the ones was coming up.
Yep.
New York, somebody's a philanderer and he was screwing around with a porno star. That's between him and his wife.
Yeah.
If she wants to, or I don't know if it's the same wife, it might be different. I can't keep track of who he's married to when. But, if she didn't beat him over the head with a frying pan, well, that's too bad,
Listen, that you're right. That takes place at the home.
Yeah.
They sort it out there. Maybe we should just mind our own business. Well, yeah, but he's taking advantage of women. Yeah, and
It's
every
all-
one of them is saying, "Can I be next?
Yeah.
Can I be
Yeah,
next?
right,
Mr. Trump?
exactly.
Can I be next?
Yeah.
Yeah, take me away for the weekend. Give me money."
I don't remember who it was we were watching. It was some sports figure. And Monica says, "What does she see in an older guy like that?" I said,
MONEY.
yeah. I said, money, fame,
Prestige. Have a face on the cover of all kinds
That's
of
right.
different stupid magazines. Somebody, and I forget who the hell it was, but somebody said, all of this over some tot.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
You almost today, if you see a sports figure or a celeb, and he's an older guy and he's got an older wife, it's almost unusual
Yeah.
that he hasn't got some 21 or 22-year-old,
Yep. I'm candy.
hanging on him.
Yeah. it's with well, I mean, it's part of the social deterioration of this country. Marriage, the family unit.
Oh, that's part of our problem.
Yes, well, that's 90% of our
Yep.
problem, I'm convinced. Just anyway. So we have this affair out in East Hampton.
Oh boy. Ladies.
Yep. Wrote an email to the board
Yep.
and said, ladies. Now, you've got to be kidding me.
I thought, I didn't believe that was real when I first read it.
And
What they called it, microaggression.
one person's perceived microaggression is how another person was brought up to politely and respectfully speak to women. If this was indeed the only issue, this was an opportunity to learn and grow as a community, not to tear down and divide. Here's a fully qualified guy that they were going to appoint as superintendent. And because he said
Said ladies. And he, what is the, there is nothing derogatory without going to making it something that it's not. That is microaggression. That is not microaggression. If he said, hey, hoes, something like that, that would have been a different story. But he said, ladies.
A term of respect.
Of respect, that's right.
Now with woke, we have new meanings of
Yeah.
things. By the way,
I would have been tempted after this thing was blown up for him to make a public statement. Say, I'm sorry, I guess you're not ladies.
well, the Herald had this picture.
Oh,
Of
I can imagine
Him
that.
and surrounded by 7 ladies
Yeah.
and maybe a man
Yeah,
or a bearded lady, I don't know.
you don't.
But
know.
anyway, so my question is, this lynch crowd, lynch mob,
Yeah.
where are these women's husbands?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
First of all, do they have a husband?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's,
We're making an assumption there.
yeah, making it up may be a poor assumption,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, I'll bet you half of them are married. Where's their husbands?
Ladies.
Saying, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay? This has gone too far.
When they hear an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, do they get upset over that?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. That's-
Yeah. Another thing too. I mean, this town here couldn't wait to jump on board. Selectmen.
Yeah.
Oh, change it to the select board. We don't want to offend anybody. Yeah. For centuries, it's been selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
What's in a word? I mean, give me a break. We are going so far in the wrong direction.
Everybody's offended about something today.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what it is. You can't say anything, 'cause somebody's going to say, I'm offended.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. I'm getting to the point I'm offended that you're offended.
Well, in that case, yeah. So he's out.
Yeah.
They appointed somebody else. Who knows whether he's even qualified or not? They appointed somebody else.
Yep.
I wonder what he referred to. By the way, what was he supposed to have said in addressing them?
I don't know.
Yeah, Queen,
I have no idea.
Miss Superintendent, Miss Chairman of the Board. Chairman, that's a bad word too. You can't be chairman. Boy, it's, speaking to these
Dear
people is
females,
loaded.
Females?
Yeah. Oh no, that's
Oh God, there's a male in it.
that's right.
We've got nuts. We've gone completely nuts with this stuff.
Yeah.
And the transgender and the thems and theys and I saw in a paper down the list of pronouns that teachers can use in Boston schools. You can't say he or she on some of them. It has to be they or them. To me, that implies plural.
Yeah.
So it gets real confusing. They, who are they?
Maybe you can say you.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, you're singling them out for
Yeah.
ridicule that way. I don't know, and I don't know where the hell it's going to end.
Yeah, that's the next point. Where does this stop?
Yeah.
It's gotten absolutely absurd now. How ridiculous is it going to get?
One wonders if it can get any more ridiculous.
Now, when you think you're
is.
just about seeing the extremes, then you get this stupid thing with the ladies. But other women will call each other guys. When they say, "Hey, you guys want to go there?" They're all women, and they usually you don't get that same reaction amongst women.
Should we be offended when a waitress, and they all do it,
Oh yeah, I'm not where
come
you're
over
going.
and says, "How you guys tonight?"
Yeah,
And should I be offended for my wife and point out that she's
not a guy?
She's a she. Yeah. I'm surprised somebody hasn't raised hell with the restaurants about that.
yeah. Or you have a waitress call you honey.
Honey, yeah.
Oh dear, what can I get you?
How's everything tonight? How's Sarah, sweetie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually told to Monica, I says, she called me honey.
That's right.
She says she calls everybody honey.
I think that's true.
It is, but I kind of like to think that that was a little special.
Yeah. One of the other things that I'm very concerned about is on the fourth Easter since COVID-19, churches face fresh challenges. We have gone from over 60% of the people saying religion is very important to them to down around 39% that say it's very important. I mean, 61% don't consider religion important. And yet, in a family unit, it's part of the glue that holds together a family unit. I find this very, very bothersome, but yet, when we take everything into account, money becomes more important than religion.
Oh yeah, in a lot of cases it is.
Yeah.
But what some of the stats that I've seen is that there's a difference now between being religious and being religious. People are more conscious of being of a religious life, but are less likely to go to church, to an organized church.
Yeah.
There's more of an individuality in religion today than there was.
I wonder how much of that is real and how much of that is an excuse.
I don't know.
Because, well, I play golf on Sundays, and I have my tennis on Sundays, and we plan for a family dinner, and to go to church just throws everything out of kilter. I wonder. I think there's so much else going on that some of that is, I think, is the reason why church attendance is down.
Well, some of that is, yeah, I do agree there. I remember when was raised in a Catholic family. So was Monica. Monica was her family was much stronger than mine. But they had kind of the same ideas sometimes. And I used to ask these kind of questions, and people would look at me like, "What are you, troublemaker?" They used to pick Sunday Mass. I remember my father saying it, and I remember her father talking about it. Well, I like to go when Father X is doing it because he's quick.
Yeah.
Get in there, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you're out of there. But you get the other one, he takes an hour and a half. Well, I'd say, well, you're only going because you're afraid not to go. That actually was true. They want to take the path of least resistance, and the guy that's the quickest, and get out of there, and get it done.
It's an ordeal.
It's an obligation they have to do, and it's an ordeal. Exactly right. Yeah. And I think today more and more people say, no, I'm not going to church because I have to go to church.
I believe in God. I believe in all his concepts and everything, but I can worship him from home or in my daily life just as well as if I go to church.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not true. But I think and there's too many distractions.
Oh, yeah. But we used to say that it's amazing that a Catholic can get to heaven. Because we talk about it as kids in Catholic school. And we all hung out with Protestants and non-Catholics. Well, we had so many pitfalls that they didn't have that we were bound to fall in one of them.
Exactly.
Well, years ago, eat meat on Friday. Hell, they could go out and have a hamburger or a steak. If we slipped up and had a hamburger, we're done. Boom.
Yeah.
So right there, I said, I said to somebody one time when they changed that, I said, tell me now, all those that went to hell because they ate meat on Friday, do they get to come out? And do they get credit for time served? And they looked at me like, what are you, some kind of hypocrite or something?
It reminds me of the old joke about them waiting for Moses to come down with the 10 Commandments.
Well, go ahead. I think I heard.
Tell us, Moses, what happened? Well, he says, I got him down to 10. That's the good news. But adultery's still in there.
Yeah,
so.
Still in there. Yeah.
But, yeah.
15.
I enjoy my religion. I respect my religion and enjoy going to church. But it's difficult for me to put a hammerlock on somebody else and say, you should be going to church.
I'm comfortable going to any church.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me what it is.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Church of What's Happening Now, so I don't know about that one. But
I've been to. I was in my 50s, I think, before the first time I went to the Federated Church for a funeral. So we were told,
oh, we did too.
Go there, boy.
With the nuns.
Yeah. But I find that people at the Federated Church should be terrific, wonderful
Terrific, nice people.
wonderful people, and the new pastor's a good guy, and they're growing.
Yep.
So I think they practice outreach a great deal more
Yeah.
than we do.
Oh yeah.
But we're so short of priests that it's tough. Like Father Gregory has Norfolk and Medfield both.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's a backbreaker. But anyway, well, what do we have next here that I can delve into here? We did that stuff. Dwayne,
Yeah.
older workers are in demand. Bosses prefer their work ethic.
For
And
worker-
they
oh,
are trying now to recruit older workers to come out of retirement.
that's kind of a switch.
Isn't that something?
Yep. For
There's
a
a-
while they couldn't wait to get rid of anybody over 50.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, it was.
I was 48 years old when one of the big shots at the Foxborough Company said to me, "You know what? You've hit your max, buddy. We want new blood,
Yep.
young blood."
Oh yeah, that was.
And Dwayne, I was so stupid. I should have gone right to personnel and said, "Here's what he said to me," because my assistant was sitting right on the other side of the room divider, and she heard every word he said. The settlement, because I got this from training when they made me a supervisor, the average civil rights complaint that they had to deal with, they settled for $235,000.
Yep.
I looked that in the face and I didn't do it. And
But
they
it-
fired him shortly afterwards.
Yeah. Some. I remember something not happened a couple of years ago with IBM. They put out a statement that was just blatant, and they had even named it the Methuselah something or other. But you guess today they're finding that the older employee is steady.
They're early for work.
Yeah,
They'll stay late
later.
to finish what they started.
They don't have a million social things going at the same
And
time.
They don't call in sick constantly. Yeah. So there is recruiters now actively going after retirees. I wonder if there's much market for 82-year-olds.
Yeah, but not for what we want.
Balding 82-year-olds.
Fat 82-year-old. I don't know. What will we do?
There's a guy over to Roach Brothers.
Yeah.
I know him. He's older than I am. I want to say he's either 83 or 84. He's bagging over there part-time. He says 8 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I come in 2 days, 4 hours each day. He said, it's a nice little pocket full of change.
Yeah,
Gets me out of the house.
If that's a case where you said, good for you.
Yeah.
But what's sad, if you see a guy that's has to be doing it because he hasn't got enough money
right.
to survive.
Exactly.
You know, and he's hurting, his back hurts, and his legs hurt, and everything. That's sad. I mean, we can't take care of our people.
It's well, I feel the same way, Dwayne, about, and I've repeated this time and time again, but it kills me to see the ads on TV, wounded warriors.
Yeah,
and
I know
all
where you're
that.
going.
I mean, they should not have to be raising money to take care of those guys. the government should be taking care
That's
of our
right.
veterans.
There's no damn reason that we should have to have those organizations.
That's right. Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
It is, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And by the way, that's another thing too, Dwayne, that we're really digging into our stockpile of weaponry and sending it to the Ukraine. And this bozo administration in Washington are not exactly breaking the speed limit, writing new purchase orders for replacement ammo and weapons and all that.
Bill, it goes back to what we said before. You should never be the commander-in-chief if you've never been in the service.
Absolutely.
There is no way you can sit in that office of president and command the armed forces of the United States having never participated.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
The closest some of these guys that he ever got to was watching Gomer Pyle.
Yeah. Oh, Sergeant Ernie Bilko.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But you're absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel that if anybody that runs for elective office should be a veteran, but especially the legislature, the Senate,
the senators.
the governor,
Yep.
all should be veterans.
That's right. At least the senators and president. We don't have any qualms at all about putting age 35 on it.
Yeah.
So why not being a veteran?
Yeah.
Because part of your job is commander-in-chief.
You know, when I went in the Army, I was drafted, and it was the best 2 years of my life. When I think about what I went in there and learned.
Oh, me
about
too.
life.
I learned more in the military than I did any time in college.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Good times and bad. I get more funny stories that I can think of, things that happened to me in the service. I met great people. I met completely evil scumbags.
Yep. Oh yeah, you could run the whole gauntlet.
That's right.
Yep.
One of everything is in the
But you
Army.
learn from all them people. You
That's
learn from
right.
the good ones, follow their leadership and learn from them.
Yeah.
You also learn from the bad ones. I also noticed that, I have said this before, but I never learned so much so fast as I did in military schools. And I don't mean military
Yeah.
school. I mean, like in intelligence school and
Instructions,
language
yeah.
school, and it came so fast and so intense that you could not learn it.
Dwayne, I have said,
It wasn't like college where they just diddled around for weeks and months and diddle to this and diddle to that.
listen to some boring
Yeah.
clown lecture. But, you know, I have said to people, in my lifetime, I have seen 2 organizations totally and completely squared away.
Yep.
U.S. Army,
And Disney.
Disneyland.
Yep, that's right.
yep.
You know, and to this day, I can't watch things like Cops or that On Patrol
Yep.
and listen to that guy asking questions, because we had classes on interrogation. You never said, "I don't suppose you got a weapon on you, do you?" The instructor, who were actors, would have eaten you alive. Or did you see a guy run down there, or did he go over there? If you ask him that, he'll say yes. Well, which? He says, well, one of those two that you asked me.
Yeah, it's a leading question.
Yeah.
You gave me the answer.
I used to do that with Monica, and she'd give me, said, do you want pancakes or waffles for breakfast? I said, yes. Don't be an ass. Don't be a smart ass.
Oh, they're in that union, you know. Susie will give me 2 choices for supper, and I'll say, whichever one is easiest for you, honey. Give me an answer.
Oh, when it comes time for dinner or supper, she, what do you want for dinner? I said, well, prime rib would be great.
Yeah.
We ain't got that. Well, why'd you ask me then?
Because Susie always gives me choices. Well, you can have hot dogs and beans, or you can have ham and eggs, or. But when I say doesn't matter, I swear that if she had a 12-inch knife in her hands and was standing behind me, I'd be dead. Oh. By the way, here's a swell editorial. Boston needs strong tea, safe streets to boost nightlife economy. Mayor Michelle has big plans for Boston, envisioning a city with a bustling nightlife and burgeoning economy.
I know what the one thing they got to do. Stop rolling up the sidewalks in restaurants at 8:30 at night.
I'll tell you something else they got to do too, and that is eliminate street crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without stop and frisk, and without
there's
punishment for these thugs,
too, Bill.
it ain't going to happen. She can think about everything that needs to be done. Strong tea. What? You take your life in your hands at 10 o'clock at night riding the tea.
Yeah.
Safe streets. You'll find one of everything on the streets. And then a bustling nightlife. What does she think? It's going to be transformed into Las Vegas? Glittering lights every place?
Yeah, and the restaurants stop serving 8,
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah.
You can't hardly ever find anything at 10 o'clock.
Because people are afraid to go out
Yep.
that time of night. Yeah. So she's been drinking the lemon-flavored Kool-Aid, I think, and with high sugar content. And it's the stuff that these people come out with. They're living in a dream world.
Well, they are. That's very true. And she has a persona of her that's different than Menino. He used to have that good old favorite uncle type thing. And in real life, he was a mean, tough. If you weren't on his team, boy, you were screwed.
You were dirt.
Yeah.
And before him, I mean, Kevin White.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep, and the basketball player too, Flynn. Mayor
Oh
Flynn.
yeah. He lived in a dream world.
Yeah. Boy, so many of them. Gee whiz.
Remember when he got appointed to the ambassador to the Vatican?
Yeah.
And he was going to change this, and we're going to do this and this, and they had to remind him, this is an honorary position. You ain't going to be changing anything.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Just genuflect and march out. Well, listen, folks, we're getting the heartbreaking news that we've got to end the show. We probably didn't get to 1/10 of what we planned on talking about.
They're kicking us out, but they'll let us back, they said.
That's right. We will see you next time, and we'll get to the next pile. And in the meantime, it's warm out today, so I think we're...
Enjoy it while you can.
I hope we're not going to morph into summer without having spring.
Well, I hope we don't fall back into winter.
Well, that's another thought, too.
You never know.
Well, stay tuned, folks, and 2 weeks from now or so, we'll tell you what it was.
Okay. Take care. Have fun. Stay safe.